Well, hello everybody, and welcome once again to the latest edition of MBTV News, Metal World Broadcasting News, or Mal Burns News, depending on the way you want to look at it. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Very cunning, though. Very cunning that move was. Right. My name is Mal Burns, and I'm joined by my tech wizard, come producer sort of person, James Atloud, whom I'm actually, the vagaries of virtual worlds, I'm actually seeing him as a white statue, except he's moving. And he's got a pair of glasses and a hat on. But otherwise, he's a statue. But I have good news for you, everybody. Due to the wonders of multi-person broadcasting, he, with his camera, sees himself okay. So you folks out there, you're going to see him okay too. So this is good news. Welcome, James, in the flesh or
Yeah,
the
thank you,
avatar.
Mel. I find it so interesting in virtual worlds that we have each of us has a copy of the virtual world on our own computers. And so we feel like we're in the same place, but we're all actually in copies of the environment on each of our computers.
Indeed. And when objects come in, or indeed avatars come in, we call it resing. And
Right?
sometimes people res as white statues, moving ones at that. Anyway, enough of that. We got some serious news to bring you. And of course, we weren't here last week because we were running a conference in Europe. But we're back and a little bit to catch up. Unfortunately, I've sort of condensed things to a reasonable number of sort of links, plus the usual places you go to check up on the week before or the week before that, etc., etc. So, where should I start off? I'm going to start off with the web links and just go down a few of them. Got them on screen at the moment, hopefully. Um, this first one is actually a podcast, number 87, and so quite interesting because the topic was how do we get immersed in game worlds, and of course this is equally applicable to virtual worlds generally. You'll find it at a site called psychologyofgames.com, and I'll assume you know how to type that, but it's all one word. Psychology of game. Actually, I better do it. I know some of you aren't too good on the spelling, are you? psychologyofgames.com. See, are I good to you? Reading it out for you too. By the way, you can follow me as Mal Burns, MALBUNS, one word, on well, it's not Twitter anymore. You know the what do you how do you you just go to x.com, I think, and then slash Malburns. There's no Twitter involved anymore. Um, I don't know how long that will last. One of my three accounts is already gone, but I post to them, by the way, via Mastodon. So all my posts are actually on Mastodon, and they get auto, the old robots send them to Twitter without my intervention. But I mentioned that at the top of the show because that is where you can catch up on these links and many more. And the advantage, if you can get a feed from me, is that when you click on a link, it will take you to the exact page rather than the home page. It's not relevant for this link because it's just the home psychologygames.com. But for some, you have a bit of a job finding the article if you're just stuck on the homepage. Anyway, moving down, this this is generally the oldest first, but a few things here are just a wee bit out of order. Bearing in mind we're going 2 weeks back, I'm going to be quite quick. The next link is to arinsider.co, ARINSIDER.co. And that's Charlie Fink's beginning of the week roundup, but it wasn't this week, it was the week before. So I'm going to move straight on to that. The arinsider.co link, of course, works for this week's version too. The same with the next one, virtualrealityreporter.com. Three words in one with the big XR news. And you can see on the screen there what the big XR news is without me doing too much more. Um, yeah, I mean, no sooner have we got the last time were on air, we were talking about the Unity catastrophe, and in fact, since then they've backed down a little bit, but since then again, their CEO has now left, and they've got a temporary CEO in to replace him. So the saga continues, shall I say. Anyway, virtual reality reporter for that and more. xrtoday.com. XR storytelling shows the future of content is spatial. Interesting little article here. This Demon Curitin is the same guy who does that video we post quite a little bit, the short ones. Well, not always so short, actually. Um, but it's a little interview about storytelling and stuff like that. And quite like that phrase, the future of content is spatial. Up yours, Hollywood. Or something. Right, okay, xrtoday.com for that one. This one, oh, right, we don't need that one because it's over. That was our conference last week on Craft World and Hypergrid Business reporting it. Don't know what that was still doing there, but it was. Okay, moving down to virtualrealityreporter.com. We had an earlier one from, well, 2 minutes ago. We had another one here. Breaking ground, unveiling the big XR news from Boeing, Engage XR, Apple, and Meta. And I think most of the regular readers, by the way, know my feelings about Meta, but unbelievable. I don't watch much television, but I do have a commercial radio on a lot. And Meta have got adverts here, there, and everywhere on the radio stations here. And now they've moved them to television. And I kind of, unfortunately, sometimes see them in the interval in the middle of the news. And I mean, I have to admit it's a very good campaign. It's aimed at commerce, and you know, it focuses on a use case each time. So there's a scientist, and then there's an athlete, and whatever, and it talks about how they're using the metaverse. And then you know, at the end it says, you know, in a helmet by Meta or something or other. So you can't get away from the damn people, can you? It just shows how much of a lead they've got there. That, if somebody doesn't compete with them soon, you know, they're going to basically monopolize things to a great extent. Moving on down, of course, news at artnet.com. So news.artnet.com. And yeah, this is actually an art site I follow. They do occasionally have interesting stuff about installations and things. But they actually had this review of, well, it's called, hang on, what is it called? Yeah, The Master's Pupil. And they describe it as a video game. But it explores Monet's use of colour by placing players inside the French painter's eyeball, as they put it. I think you'd call that first person view, but zoomed in. Hard to tell, but it's a very good review. This I did have a quick look at the clip of it, but I've yet to come across a photo. Sorry, not a photo, a video that I can watch in its entirety. But I've always been quite a fan of Monet, so I guess that's there's an example of some zoomed in brushstrokes that you barely even see if you're looking at the painting, let alone a reproduction of the painting on the screen. Anyway, very interesting, I thought. So you can find that in the news section of artnet.com, artnet.com. ARinsider.co, yet again. This is now, no, it's not Spatial Beats, it's Reality Bites, talking about Meta, Mr. Beast, and U2. The U2 connection is that performance in the Giant Sphere in Los Angeles, so real world immersion rather than online immersion, I guess. But it's also news there anyway. Obviously, the same site has a sorry about that. Yeah, Spatial Beats must be coming up here on my list, so hang on, I'm coming down. Okay, this week in XR, right, this was at Forbes, of course. Taking its while there. This was on October the 5th, so it was just, it was last weekend, effectively. And it's a roundup from Charlie Fink, a text version of his roundup, you know, talking about glasses and deep fakes, basically. And, oh, look, there's a deep fake standing on the stage. Yes, gosh golly. See where my mouse is? There's a deep fake there. No comments from James, I noticed. I was expecting a laugh. Right. Okay, maybe he's gone somewhere. Don't know. Right. So following on from that, oh yeah, big XR news from Nvidia, Meta, Endeavor XL. This is XR today again. Right. Okay, this one's xrtoday.com yet again. xrtoday.com. And it's quite interesting. It's an article about a company called Atlas Meditech, and they're connecting to the NVIDIA Omniverse for neurosurgery, believe it or not, in VR. So, well, it's fascinating whether you're into it or not, quite frankly. But yeah, a nice little link there. And we have another one at medium.com, medium.com. And this is about the cyber physical metaverse. Can you eat that, if you will? Web3 in real life, it says. I don't really. It's when they refer to cyber physical metaverse, well, they're using metaverse for one thing, they're referring to the application of Web3 technologies to solve physical, real world problems, developing the metaverse organically. And hang on, where did that go? It went down here quickly, didn't I? Introducing into it a diverse range of individuals and organizations. So, all embracing sort of kind of thing there. Um, Obviously, the real world is where they're getting the physical bit from, and then the online is the cyber bit. So they've melted it down into cyber physical, and then gone for metaverse. I've got a feeling the Emperor Zuckerberg might actually approve of that reference, but never mind. So you will find that at medium.com. Moving down to arinsider.co again. October 9th, we're actually now into this week, as it were. Charlie thinks opening gambit of the week, Spatial Beats, Meta, ChatGPT, and Mr. Beast. Find that at arinsider.co. And then what we expect at the beginning of every week, really, the XR Week Peak, which of course comes with its own sound effect. I've just proven that James is there. He might not be laughing at my jokes, but he's there. You
I'm
see, because
there. I'm there.
he's howling.
Yep. There's just too much going on in the world right now. I'm chatting with so many people from the conference. So
Oh yeah, well,
yep.
tell them to wait for an hour or two. Okay, fair enough. Moving on down. Talking of conferences, we've got another one coming up in December. This is presenter contact information. Okay. Okay, I'll give you the URL for this because this is not actually the page I thought it was. The URL is conference.opensimulator.org. And the post I thought I'd just put up here, which it is not, is the call for entries that they have put out this week too. I've obviously loaded the wrong micro URL or something. So not much I can do about that. But basically, they're looking for calls for entry of basically anything to do with things happening or being created, especially on the professional side in Open Simulator, wherever you are across the hypergrid, basically. As long as you're running the Open Simulator engine, as one will call it, you're on the hypergrid, and that's the whole world, except for the one behind a wall in the corner. Right. I'm not going to mention what that one is. Well, maybe I should because this
I've never
bloke was
heard that one.
behind it. Yeah, this bloke was actually behind it. Philip Rosedale, creator of Second Life. Actually, he's got his regular post. Well, it's a backwater post really of philiprosedale.substack.com, and you'll find this fairly easily. He only posts once in a blue moon, but it's a rather interesting post, I thought. Um, there was a video up, which is kindly embedded, which was a first interview in the metaverse on a podcast in America from with Mark Zuckerberg, Zook, or Emperor Zuckerberg, as I call him. Um, it was quite interesting because, in
The
fact,
following is a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg inside the metaverse. Mark and I are hundreds of miles apart from each other in physical space, but it feels like we're in the same room because we appear to each other as photorealistic codec avatars in 3D with spatial audio. This technology is incredible, and I think
Because I moved you back a few feet before you got into the headset. You were like,
anyway, they're talking to
currently
each other,
for
and
us to
obviously, oh, there's a shot
project
of.
that we have at Meta called Kodak Avatars.
I thought that might have broken the camera, but no, he is actually there.
And the idea,
There you've got the two of them together. That looks like actually, it doesn't. To be honest, anybody with an eye for these things would know that those are fakes, or sort of not fakes. I don't know what you call them. They're photorealistic avatars with a lot of body mapping, facial mapping, and everything else. But it worked. It worked, and it's another example, I think, of who sort of on his way to monopolizing what he calls the metaverse. And, by the time he's finished, there'll probably be no other interpretation of it anyway. I am being cynical, as you can tell. But back to this. This is Philip Rosedale's personal take on it. And as he says up there, the amazing Mark and Lex demo. He's very impressed by the demo, although I know personally that he, when he's talking, he often says that he doesn't think there's a future in photorealism in avatars and things. And you read blogs and people, even in his Seven Life platform, and full photorealism doesn't seem to be quite what people want. I think they maybe want things a bit more realistic, but whether to this extent, I don't know. But anyway, Philip's actually impressed by it. And he refers back to his own high fidelity channel on YouTube, where there are examples of high resolution people as avatars, not quite like these. But I'm not going to read this whole thing out for you. But he goes into depth, as he would do, asserting false dominance. Basically, it's quite a lot of humour in this too. And delays you can't feel and everything else like that. So, getting rid of latencies is something he's always had to be in this bonus about. So you'll find this, as I said, at Philip Rosedale. That's PhilipRosedale.substack, substack.com. I get quite a lot of stuff from Substack anyway, mostly from people who like do daily personal videos for you and things like that. Right, moving on down to Forbes.com. Maybe behind the firewall, maybe not, depending on how you get to it. My reader here normally escapes the firewall. Unisys CEO exits, as I mentioned earlier. Raves for something called Quest 3. I've actually had a couple of messages in the last 24 hours saying, hey, MetaWorld, do you have Quest 3? Have you tried Quest 3 yet? Well, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a big fan of helmets in the first place. But anyway, they're still trying, aren't they? Gen AI apps compared to. So, there's a full thing. I don't know, is that a picture of the Sphere thing in LA? A bit late on that. It certainly looks like it. Oh, no, that's CEO of Unity during the VR at Google presentation. Yeah, interesting. I thought that was the U2 thing in the background. Never mind. And he's announced his retirement and stuff like that. So round up here, as you would have got it, hang on the 12th. This is end of the week, really. It's actually quite early for Week in XR's roundup, but that was this Friday. Back on XR today, more roundup, the big XR news, etc., etc. And I can't see a date on that one, but Yeah. Oh, the previous one, by the way, the only link I can give you is Forbes.com, Forbes.com. You can maybe find it from the front page, but it's a paywall site, Forbes, really. So you might want to look at other places where that sometimes gets reposted, whether officially or unofficially, I don't know. Anyway, xrtoday.com, which is where I moved to, is another basic roundup of what's been happening this week. Far be it from me to repeat it here. A limited time too, in fact. Right. Okay. Oh, and that actually is it. Talking of OpenSim, which I was doing earlier. There's a site called Hypergrid Business, hypergridbusiness.com. And despite this headline, which is valid, that's like one paragraph in quite an epic post. I never really understood Hypergrid Business do this. They treat their blog as if it's a newspaper, and they post to it every week or two, and that post contains the entirety of their interests from that fortnight or whatever. And that's the way newspapers work, but it's not the way blogs work. But you expect a separate blog post for half the stuff that's here. I was scrolling down, I'll give you an idea. Yeah, they're starting off with a whole load of stats. And again, this is about the Open Simulator network of grids that they call a hypergrid. And where to get in. Then they've got some stats like this. Again, then they look at Dream Grid, which is a related system. And yeah, and you get down here, and then you get the next headline. Their own business newsletter is available on the 15th. Then they've got a thing about top grids, and they list them. And we go further down, why you should set up a stats page for your grid. Online marketplaces for OpenSim content. You can see they've gone way away from the headline, and they're looking at Kitely and various other things here. And Neverworld Grid has opened a marketplace. I would probably not. I don't think I've seen a blog announcing that generally. And even this, it's almost like it's a afterthought. Miles down the blog. It's not miles down the blog. It's about halfway of that. So you can see from here, and then grid news, and then storytelling, etc., etc. So I will plug that here. Simply for those of you who are interested in a viable virtual world, you've got it, so to speak, there, as it were. Right, okay, that's the last of the mega link section. So I'm going to move to our department of offline videos, as it were. And looking at the clock here, I think we do. Yes, I'm doing quite well today, so I do actually have time to play these. I'm going to play one first, which is called Venice Immersive World Hops. And I think this is, it's our cup of tea, certainly. It's only 6 minutes, although that is long by my standards. But basically, it's a roundup look at all the immersive things that actually happened at Venice Immersive. And Venice Immersive is like an offshoot of the Venice Film Festival. And a lot of the content is actually online. In other words, it's immersive, works online. I mean, there is immersive in the real world kind of stuff around too. Well, the idea is immersion, as I would call it, is a contemporary art form, however you look at it, whether it's online or in the real world. So I thought it would be fun to have a quick look at this before we look at a couple of more serious ones. So here we go.
Who else? The Venice immersive crew, all the docents and the curators, Venice Biennale, VR Room, all of these people. Wonderful time. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Well, very interesting collection of things there, I thought. I was ashamed there wasn't as much variety in the music that went on as there were in the hundreds of clips they showed there. But I guess we can live with the music because some of the things we were seeing there was rather wonderful. Do you not agree, James?
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, just checking you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
I I heard the subtle click there. Good job. We haven't got too much of Anthony Vitello this week, isn't it? I'd have you'd be missing your. Ow!
That's right. That's right.
Right. Okay. No, I thought that lot was great. Okay. I'll move on to some more serious stuff. Obviously, the M7 innovation brief that I've been starting to run here, where we've had time. There've been obviously two since our last show. They're very short films as a rule, about 2 minutes. So, just a look at new technology, really.
Hello and welcome to the M7 Innovation Brief. I'm your host, Matt Mark, coming to you from a beautiful fall day here in NYC. Let's discuss the media tech and innovation you should care about. 90 seconds on the clock. Let's do it. Meta wants to watch you watch stuff. Revealed during the recent Meta Connect, the AI-infused Meta Ray-Bans were shown off. The tech is impressive and sleek, and the ability to snap a photo or stream to Instagram with the touch of a button is neat. The real power, Meta AI. It's embedded into the glasses, and you can ask it anything like, what am I looking at? Yes, the search continues to go visual. Now, there's an elephant in the room, and that's Meta putting a camera on our heads that will watch, ingest, and collect everything we are seeing. Meta says they have built this with privacy in mind. M7 has pre-ordered our pair and will be the judge of that. Let's talk about true immersion. The Sphere is a dome-shaped venue made completely of screens, over 1 million LEDs to be exact, and its first concert with U2 is a spectacle. Only in Las Vegas. From the outside, it looks equal parts futuristic and ridiculous, but on the inside, reviews are coming in that the experience was a level of immersion concert goers have never seen before. Is it overkill? Sure is. Do we as humans love over-the-top visuals and a unique shared experience? We sure do. Now, the Sphere experience isn't scalable, but expect Apple Vision Pro and Meta Quest 3 to try to build mixed reality experiences that captures this lightning-in-a-bottle feeling. Mr. Beast has signed with the NBA. The famous content creator will be putting his snack brand Feastables on the Charlotte Hornets jerseys. The logo will also be featured on the Hornets G-Teams jerseys and the Venom GT jerseys, an NBA 2K esports team. Mr. Beast is everywhere. Other brands that have a sponsorship spot on NBA jerseys: Disney, PayPal, Lowe's, many Fortune 500s. Joining them is a 25-year-old YouTube creator's candy brand whose tagline is "Feast like a Beast." The signal here: top-tier content creators are rewriting what it means to be a celebrity, business person, and have true influence in the world. Keep going, Mr. Beast. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week's M7 Innovation Brief. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Hello and welcome to the M7 Innovation Brief. I'm your host, Matt Marr. You know the deal, media tech innovation. 90 seconds, let's do it. Let's talk AI, pins, and fashion. Humane, the startup founded by a former senior Apple engineer, showcased its new device, the AI Pin, at Paris Fashion Week. The pin is being positioned as your ultimate personal assistant, one that does not need a smartphone or to be connected to any other device. It can summarize emails, take phone calls, tell you what you're looking at through visual search, and translate your voice into another language. Sound cool? Sure does. Could it violate every form of privacy as an always-on listening and seeing device that's attached to your body? Sure could. M7 will secure our AI pin when they're released and report back on the good, the bad, and the unknown. Apple may be hitting the road. To the surprise of nobody, Apple is reportedly seriously working on a self-driving car. Now, this rumor has been in and out of circulation since 2014, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's fun to imagine the possibilities. You pop in your AirPods as you walk out the front door, call out to Siri to unlock and start your car, make it 72 degrees, and put on season 3 of Ted Lasso. Zooming out, the ulterior motive of a brand like Apple creating a self-driving car is your commute no longer requires driving, which means more time for media, communication, and time spent on Apple devices and services. This is both figuratively and literally a great lock-in strategy for Apple. Let's spend the night with Louis Vuitton. The brand has announced its first hotel is coming to Paris. Luxury and hospitality go hand in hand, and following Louis Vuitton's LV Dream, a year-long experiential culinary and cultural destination in Paris, a hotel is a smart next step. But this isn't a signal that in the next 10 years, when you travel to popular cities, your main lodging choices will either be a Hilton, Airbnb, or a Louis Vuitton hotel. This is about press, peacocking, and expanding influence in their hometown of Paris, not a business pivot. Well, that's all the time that we have for the M7 Innovation Booth. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week.
There you go. And if you want more of that sort of stuff, nice and brief and everything else on YouTube, look up M7. That's the letter M in capitals and then 7, then numeral. And continuing our idea of advertising lots of other people today. There's another site I find very good to read, more on the philosophical side of things, actually, I think, called The Big Think. And are you new to The Big Think? This chap is asking you, and it says, if you are, start here.
We are not collections of atoms and molecules. We are, but that's not the right way to think about it.
We're not fixed things. We are constantly developing.
We're all capable of so much more than we know.
How can I become happier?
Is there a theory of everything?
What kind of sex is worth wanting?
What is your inner voice?
How do we think about gender?
How do we disagree better?
How can we train attention to be stronger?
Can we become more rational?
What is your conflict style?
How do you know that anything exists right now? What do you even mean by now?
Is our universe a simulation?
No.
I think there's one civilization in the Milky Way galaxy, and there might only ever be one, and that's us. We have a tremendous responsibility not to mess this up.
You have to think about how your decisions impact a larger issue.
What would we change? That's really what we want the conversation to be about now. Not just a long list of problems, but an even longer list of solutions that we can try and get behind.
So stay tuned.
Indeed. Okay, this is a chap called Michio Kaku. Not sure where he comes from, but it's part of that big thing.
Ever since ancient times, people have asked the question, is the world a dream? Is everything around us an illusion created by some god to test us? Well, the modern version of that is the universe a computer game? Are we just dancing puppets obeying the laws of some computer out there in the universe? Is everything basically a fake? Well, that theory got a tremendous boost with the Matrix series. Because in the Matrix, what we thought was real was actually a computer simulation put into our brain by aliens. And so reality as we knew it was all wrong. Is that possible? Well, the answer is probably no, but for a very sophisticated reason. Life is quantum mechanical. Life is not based on zeros and ones, zeros and ones. Photosynthesis, for example, is a quantum mechanical process. It is the basis of all life on the earth. And we still don't know quite how it works. A flower can do calculations that our most advanced quantum computer cannot. Amazing, truly amazing. So Mother Nature is still smarter than us when it comes to the quantum theory. If you want to simulate the weather, for example, you have to simulate the motion of trillions upon trillions of atoms. No computer is that powerful that it can simulate the motion of trillions and trillions of atoms that just make up the atoms in this room. You can't do it. You're talking about 10 to the, let's say, 25. One with 25 zeros after it, just to model the atoms inside a goldfish bowl. So we're talking about a fabulous amount of information necessary to create a model of a dream. And the most intricate quantum device is you. You are the byproduct of quantum mechanics. If you turned off quantum mechanics, what would happen to your body? It would dissolve. It would dissolve into a bunch of random subatomic particles. And atoms obey the quantum principle. It holds your body together. It allows your atoms to interact with other atoms. You create catalysts. You create DNA and protein. So you don't really know where they are at any given point. So there's an infinite number of universes that are possible right in your room. And so in other words, it is mathematically not possible to create a fictional universe out of atoms in a fictional way. Sorry about that. The universe is not an illusion.
So there you go. And containing that a bit, not fair to show the whole thing. Again, that is part of the Big Think, the series. So again, on YouTube, just look up Big Think, and you can see that and a number of other things. Right, so that's it for that lot. Then finally, my final stop is my secondary blog at Mastodon, in fact, where I've got to find it. There we go. This is at MetaWorld at Mastodon .social, and it's where I actually keep the videos, the long form videos that I post. It gets, like my text links and stuff, these get cross posted to Twitter and various other places. Sorry, what is Twitter if it's not Twitter? You're right, it's an X. Darn, it's an X. Okay, so a few unusual ones plus a few of the regular ones, starting at the top, which is the most recent. A post yesterday from Coffee and VR. They're looking principally at the Quest 3, whether it's everything they wanted, etc. You know my thoughts on Helmet Land, or lack of any constructive thoughts about Helmet Land, but many of these podcasts and things are looking at the technology that we can use for these things. Most of our favourite worlds here on OpenSim or Second Life or places like that do not work in, well, adequately, shall I say, in the helmet world. But there are routes around it and stuff, and who knows what the future holds. So if you're interested in helmets and VR in that sense, Coffee and VR is the place for you to go. Okay, this is Charlie Fink's video thing, except he's not there. Their guest was Meron Gribetz, co-founder and CEO of Darren. Well, forget that. Interesting enough chat. A very odd broadcast. Charlie's not there, so the other two sort of take over, and the camera work on it's almost though, as well as Charlie, it's almost as though a producer's missing or something. But anyway, it's an interesting enough show. I think I could have lived without their comments on the Middle East at the beginning, but they did move on to well, they focused it on whether that's going to disrupt tech progress or something or other. But they did move on to the normal sort of stuff afterwards, so they're there. Right, moving on down. Again, 14th. So this is yesterday, actually. A site called Decoder, a program called Decoder. And it's an interview with the CEO of Roblox, who wants 1 billion players on the Roblox platform, and he wants to build the metaverse. Don't they all? Oddly enough, he's very easy to listen to about it. It's I wouldn't call him a zealot or anything. It's sort of fairly straightforward chat there. So quite a good listen. This week's edition of Between Realities has Jasmine from Impact Reality XR and her mate Eric. Basically, both of them are from Impact Reality XR, sort of talking with the Between Realities guys on that wonderful set of theirs. Moving down, the VR download. Yeah, that was this week. So at this point, I'm going to bring James in because this is his favourite program when it comes to avatars, anyway, I believe.
Well, normally, yeah, but I had no time to watch that this week. I was editing video like a madman for the HIE conference.
Of course you were. Oh well, you can always come to my Mastodon blog and read it afterwards. But like a lot of them, the one I started with, they're all ultra fascinated by the Quest 3, which of course is Meta's latest helmet, and looks like their previous helmets to me. But so all it needs is a sort of a soldier, like a tin helmet, like a First World War soldier, to cover the actual skull. And that way they could protect their heads from getting knocked while they're in the helmet.
VR is not for Mal Burns. It's a pretty good helmet. It's a good headset, and
have you tried it?
No, I haven't, but I won't buy one because I think they missed the boat on not having eye tracking. You know, I'm a social VR person or a social virtual world person, and the interaction of face tracking is huge, and so I think they that's going to be disappointing. It's got some great new features, but not for me.
Yeah, it's sort of the same with everything, you know. Sort of, you can't go for every gadget, you know. I was looking at everything, you know, all the specs about the new iPhone, for example, but mine's only I don't know, is it last year's model or something? It doesn't seem to me that there's enough in it to justify binning an expensive phone and going for a new one. You know, and I think Quest will find the same sort of thing. You know, they've got to make a helmet that is useful for helmet users and it has all the essentials in, and then hopefully maybe upgrade it like Apple do with software, so that it's always a bit new. It's just, you know, you don't have a new actual model every year. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised, being as it's Zuckerberg, he'll probably want a new model every 6 months so that he can lap up the money and the advertising and everything else that goes with it. But you know my thoughts there, don't you, James?
Yep.
Anyway, yes, we will can look at that in review later, I guess. Okay, moving back, this is on Thursday again. VR Crewcaster there, including the Between Realities guys. They're in the crowd. Just showing you briefly. Oh, they're busy laughing there, I'm afraid. I always like to sneak a peek into those, actually. I do like these ones. They're more like Zoom calls, actually, rather than just, you know, one or two guys on the podcast. They, you know, there'll be 4 or 6 of them, and then they'll bring other people in. And there's always something good to talk about, I guess, you know, because of the ever-changing participants. Right, Wednesday, Immersive Insights. This is Reality Check, the role of government in advancing XR. Now, unless I'm right, I think that must have been an audio podcast. I want to see if I can actually load it without actually screwing up. Oh, actually, it's the title page for a whole load. This first one on the list was the one I was recommending, but there's a lot of XR stuff here, as you can probably see. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's okay. I can get back. No, I can't. That's something else entirely. This, by the way, may be useful for some of you. It's an AI. It's free at the moment on the App Store, so you can get it for the Mac and iOS, and it will actually... I was reminded this earlier today. I tried it out, you know, take an hour-long video with conversation in, say, Double Dutch, if there is such a thing. And it opens the video, and then you just get a screen of text as it translates all the everything. It tells you at the top what language it's found. So, you know, you wait a couple of minutes and it says detected, and then translates to English, for example. And then you can output it as a subtitle file. But it only works with offline stuff. You can't just go to YouTube and run it. You've got to have a copy offline, run it, and then upload the subtitles to the same place you put the video. But quite nifty. For those of you in video production who need subtitles, basically. Okay, I need to get back to where I was, don't I? XRA.org, Immersive Insights for that one. Let's see if the next one actually has a picture. Oh, actually, this is the film I showed earlier because we had time. It's the roundup of all the worlds they hop to at Venice Immersive. Too many to even count, as if you were watching a few minutes ago, you would realise. Tuesday, 10th of October, because obviously we've got 2 weeks covered here. That's the... oh! I do believe it's the same one as a minute ago. It certainly looks like it from there. Another edition of Quest, of course, sorry, the program. Hugo Svard, VP and GM of XR in the Metaverse. Okay, this is an edition of Building the Open Metaverse. Discussing it there. Sorry, just got distracted there a bit. Big XR news. This is from XR Today again, of course, but this was their, I don't know, fortnightly or so. Every couple of weeks they seem to have a video version. So latest big news on Apple, Microsoft, and Meta. I've said it once and I'll say it now. I do not like four-letter words on this platform, thank you. This show is not for four-letter words, so they can keep their MET what's it. Right. Sorry, Zuki. Right, back again. Where are we here? I'm getting silly here now. Merging gaming and workouts, black box VR experience with founder Ryan DeLuca. This is the Between Realities show again. You can tell it's got a little logo there. I rather like the fact they're highlighting the different guests each week instead of sort of forcing you to watch it to find out who's on it, sort of thing. F Reality podcast. There's been a couple since then, but they keep. I flatly refuse to post on a web sort of thing. They upload half their videos as vertical things, and they look like they've been filmed on a smartphone camera or something, and it doesn't work when you try and do a proper podcast like that with other people involved. But anyway, this is when there's a week or so ago, well, more than a week ago, and it was a regular podcast looking at the Atom takeover, that four-letter word again, Connect, Steam VR, and more. And Thursday, 5th of October, yeah, that's still what we've got to cover. A night from the All Conference, one of those small sort of meetups. This one was in Chicago, and the theme was the next evolution of the arts. Fairly short that, but interesting enough. And a panel on the future of the open metaverse and interoperability. This was part of something called the Metaverse Summit. If you go to YouTube and look at Metaverse Summit, you'll find a few thousand videos, of which I couldn't find many of that actually were particularly of interest, despite the fact it was called a Metaverse Summit. This panel in particular actually was a fair highlight to me anyway, because it was looking at the future of the open metaverse and possible ways of interoperating, which of course, if you know me, is be in my bonnet. A chap called Steve May. He's the Chief Technical Officer of Pixar, and he's the co-founder of OpenUSD. And again, this is the same conference building, well, the same broadcast building the open metaverse there. And and that brings us to Monday, 2nd of October, which was the day after our last show. And this was UTI events and other Ray Kurzweil, of course, who invented the world and wrote a book called The Singularity is Near. It's an interview with him really on the future of intelligence, artificial, natural, and combined. And then, as I say, the previous post was that thing. 1st of October, a full fortnight ago, but that was our last show, of course. So that's it for this week. Any more thoughts from you, James? I've noticed I'm 2 minutes over the clock, so...
No, nothing really. People are arriving next door, and so
right.
I guess we ought to be on our way. I gotta find my camera preset here.
Yeah, I did have a little sneak peek round the corner, and of course my co-host on the Inworld Review is ready to join me. That's Ember, and wonderful. One of our guests, because she was at the conference we're going to be looking at, was Pet Love Pet Shop, who once upon a time did actually do our filming. In fact, it was you came in, James, didn't you, when I was looking for a replacement for Pet Love?
I did. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know what you're thinking either. I mean, yes, you're in deep now. You know.
Yep.
Lock you down, you'll be like a fish out of water, literally. You're in the water swimming. Indeed. So well, as James has pointed out there, if you're watching this channel, we'll be back on air in about half an hour with our other open simulator hypergrid program called the Inworld Review, and we will be looking at last week's Hypergrid International Expo, which we were involved with, so we're a bit biased. But we will try and run it like a normal program and pretend that we're impartial. He says, I'm not, I don't want that person on the panel. No, I'll have that person. Yeah, sorry, getting diverted there. Kicking people out I don't want. Impartiality is what it's all about, isn't it? That's meant to be a joke. Why does nobody laugh at me? I'm going to have to laugh at myself, you know?
I've been muted because I'm typing, Mal, so...
Okay, folks, it's good night for me and James. And we will be back at the same time, same place next week. Have a good one, everybody.